And you are live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one, the oldie, the majestic ape, the illustrious one, coming to you live on another edition of Mornings with CJ, the main man, who is the denizen of the airwaves, who keeps this broadcast flowing with the correct influx of dilithium crystals and flux capacitors. We are going to be giving you the rundown of the entire global landscape, all the things that are worth discussing, and giving you all the truth, all the facts, all the balance, all the information without the fear porn, without telling you to run to your basement eating cat food and waiting for the SWAT team to come kick down the door, or waiting for an ICBM to land on top of your rooftop. Also, guys, with that being said, check us out on roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money. And also check us out on the Rogue Money Facebook. We also have the Rogue Money podcasting app in either an Apple or an Android. Just Google, just go search it. Okay, search it in your podcasting app like Pocket Cast or the iTunes app, and you will see Rogue Money. Check us out on the Apple News. Okay, if you go to the Apple News app, you click on it, open it up, search Rogue Money, and voila, we are there on Apple News. So check it out. It's a great way for you to keep tabs of what's going on with the latest information, the news, and the site. And also, guys, with that out of the way, you could also support us by checking out, like, if checking out myfreedomnow.us. If you know somebody who's in debt, who's got debt collectors, ringing their phone on all hours of the day. If you got debt collectors that are sending you love letters saying how much they love you and they want to they want to cut a deal with you, before you cut any deals or cut the cheese because you're so nervous, baby, please contact the guys over at myfreedomnow.us. Myfreedomnow.us. Get the credit score you deserve, and you can even book a call with yours truly. With that being said, CJ, I am functioning on 3 hours of sleep, my man. What is going on? What's cracking?
That was a nice little rhyme there, V. You busted that
Yeah,
out.
dude. You know what it is? It's that whole New York thing, bro. It's just it's just in me, man. It's in
It
me.
just flows. It's
Yeah,
natural, right?
yeah.
It's
It's
natural.
natural, dude. It's natural. Indiana, you guys got the jump shot. New York, we got the rhymes.
There we go. There we go.
Oh man.
No, last night I was up and, I was just thinking to myself, wow, it's hard to believe, less than what, 24
24
hours
hours.
now, right? Yeah. I mean, just
Na, na, na,
na
na,
na na na.
na, na.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna play it. We're gonna
Oh,
sing it. We're gonna loop it over and over. Maybe we'll even make a rhyme to it. But yeah, I just started just feeling just optimistic about the future, about things that are going on, and
yep.
we emailed back and forth last night, and like we it said that we understand that Trump is not the most perfect candidate, but at the same time, if you take what could have been the outcome,
Oh, Jesus. What?
it would have been a
Thermonuclear
lot
holocaust.
scarier.
What could have been was is thermonuclear holocaust.
Exactly, exactly. So as this is happening, V, it's I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but did you see where the Bush senior and Barbara ended up in the hospital at the same time? Isn't that funny? Not funny, but isn't that strange? Maybe it's too much for them to handle.
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute. Here you got these two lovebirds. Okay, these two lovebirds. You had the globalist demon lord George H.W. Bush and Aleister Crowley in drag, which is Barbara Bush, and she, from all accounts and all rumors, a lot of people are saying that she's actually Aleister Crowley's daughter. I believe that the similarities are absolutely striking. So they're hospitalized, CJ. I don't know how. I don't know what. Hopefully, they're both going to croak at the same time. That'll be wonderful. How wonderful what this is what W is saying. There's going to be things happening that's going to look like acts of God. A lot of
Yeah,
prominent
yeah.
people are just going to suddenly drop dead. And here we have, it says here, former President George Herbert Walker, George Hellacious Hell Walker Bush is in stable condition. Oh, he's in stable condition. Damn it. And his his wife, former former First Lady Barbara Alistair Crowley Bush, has bronchitis. President Bush 92 was admitted to the intensive care unit at Houston Methodist Hospital to address an acute respiratory problem stemming from pneumonia. Okay, they both got bronchitis and they both got respiratory issues all of a sudden, CJ. Hopefully they will both croak. Doctors perform a procedure to protect and clear his airway that required sedation. By Wednesday evening, the former president was no longer sedated. He's in stable condition in the ICU and is conscious and engaged, unfortunately. He told CNN's Jamie Gangel that doctors wanted to keep President Bush in ICU for observation because he's still intubated, and their intention is to keep his airway open. Why don't they just, all the, Poppy, okay, H.W. Bush's legacy is the heroin trade and narcotics trafficking. Why don't they just, while he's intubated, so they should also, what they should do is, CJ, they should just get some of the fresh narcotics that they've, gathered, the fresh opiates from Afghanistan, and shove it down his throat while he's there, CJ.
Right. The other thing, V, too, if you think about the amount of criticism that the amount of Democrats that aren't attending the inauguration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could this potentially be a scapegoat for them too? The reason why they can't be there, because that they would be if it was Hillary, they'd be there in a heartbeat.
Oh man, she's the next one. I'm waiting for her to drop dead from Kudu. So Dr. Sanjay Gupta, the CNN medical crony correspondent, says it's definitely concerning. Certainly when he's sedated, they're having trouble breathing on their own. Great. Wonderful. Okay, this is great. I mean, if they both go, what an act of God it would be. Barbara Bush also admitted to the hospital Wednesday morning as a precaution after experiencing fatigue and coughing. Hopefully her lungs coming out of her mouth. McGrath said Wednesday evening the First Lady has bronchitis, not pneumonia like her husband. Who cares? All right, hopefully you both just drop. Okay? Both should, and here comes Bill Clinton. I hope, here's Clinton's tweet. 41 and Barbara. Thinking about both of you and sending you wishes for a speedy recovery. Love 42. And by the way, I hope you got some cute nurses. Unreal,
That's exactly how it would be, B. Exactly.
Yeah, totally, man. Good riddance, bro. I mean, two of the most evil people out there. They were like parents. I mean, you ever wonder why the Bushes and the Clintons were so close? I mean, the amount of criminal enterprising these two families have done in Mena, Arkansas, the whole Barry Seal incident, all this stuff that centers around these sycophants, man. Dirty players in the game. The CIA became its most acutely corrupt under George Herbert Walker. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, bro. And the hell spawn.
Yeah, I mean, the whole history regarding the CIA and George Bush Sr. and the New World Order and this whole government, this world government thing that he envisioned several years ago, and the fact that the fact that it transitioned through him to Clinton to Obama, they're one and the same. Nothing changed through that.
It's a brand new day. Read my lips. New World Order. That's how he was. It's like he was always talking about a stupid rug in the Oval Office. 44 points of light, 1,000 points of light. Do you see the light now, Georgie? Tell me, how is it? Is it getting more glib? Is it getting more dark, Georgie boy? How's the light treating you, buddy? Run away from the light, Georgie. Run away. Oh man. So what's this I'm hearing, man? Now, all the snowflakes are crying. They're all, protesting. They're all angry. What's going on, CJ? Like, what's the lowdown, bro?
I think my lowdown is this: is that people need to, grow a pair to, to.
Oh my God, you're being a male chauvinist. Oh my God, that is sexist.
To stop, to stop being such whiners about an election outcome. You remember when Obama got elected, they were like, sit there and take it. Elections have consequences, and this is it. So just deal with it. Well, the same thing goes back to them. So look at like states like California, for example, where they've had petitions to, we no longer want to be, one of the states. We want to become our own independent. So this is interesting. So an article in the New York Times, California strikes a bold pose, very bold, as vanguard of the resistance. So And they
No.
started doing this the exact timing that Trump was elected. So in the months since the election of Donald J. Trump, California has turned into a laboratory of resistance. V
It's a
championing
laboratory.
legal.
It's a laboratory, all right.
California is championing legal, legislative, and political strategies to counter the Republican policies. Like what? Like mandatory vaccinations for your anyone that attends public education. That type. So the state lieutenant governor, Gavin Newsom, who is running for governor, said California could use its stringent environmental protection law to block
Oh.
Mr. Trump. So we're going to throw the environmental protection laws at him, and you're going to utilize that to stop building the Mexican border, the border along Mexico. Governor Jerry Brown and lawmakers are pressing bills to expand environmental protections, provide legal assistance for immigrants facing deportation, and raise gasoline taxes to pay for highway construction.
You idiots.
A socialist utopia.
And you know what? These morons don't realize in their southern border what happens when you raise gasoline taxes. Look at what's going on in Mexico, you monkeys.
Exactly. Exactly.
So this, so the, so this is the way they're going to get back. They're gonna use their environmental protection, and they're gonna fight. Dude, these people are so deluded, CJ. They are absolutely deluded. And this is what, in fact, I urge Trump. How about we just build, we build the wall right around Mexico, and then we just cut up and we build a wall walling off California. We don't need California. A lot of people are like, well, California, if it was a country on its own, it's like the seventh largest economy on the planet. No, it's not. Okay, when you really sit there and you look at the books, 40% of them, I think the last number, and I got to verify this if somebody go find it. I think 40% or 30% or 40, somehow 30 or 40% of all welfare winds up going to California to begin with. You guys are a drain on the system, number one. Number two, anybody with sense is leaving. Okay, I got a couple of friends that are still holding out there. I'm begging them to leave. I'm telling Bix to get the hell out of there while he still can, but he can't. He's the Lord of Compton because he's got to run the gangs over there. He's
Someone's
the
got
gang
to be
lord.
hardcore.
I
Somebody's
keep
got to be
telling Bix,
hardcore.
I said, Bix, you got to get out of Cali. I'm waiting for him, man. I'm waiting for Bix to get out. And then I got my other buddy Al. He's out there too. And I'm like, guys, you got to get the heck out of there. It's crazy. And but it's the whole thing in Cali, man. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. It's like I don't know. I can't. I mean, why is it the state with the best weather in the world? Okay, the best weather, the
Oh,
best driving roads. I mean, the best
absolutely.
scenic beauty of California, right? And like, why are they just populated by idiotic politicians? You got the dumbest politics on the planet. This is Venezuela. I mean, here's the thing: we take off all federal subsidies and federal funding from California. California will be Venezuela overnight, bro. Okay,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
these little pricks don't realize. They're hanging by a thread, CJ. They will be Venezuela overnight. Governor Jerry Brown will be the new Nicholas the Sweetness bus driver Maduro, from Caracas. But instead of from Caracas, he's from Sacramento. I mean, dude, this is so bad, so bad. They want to make this the base of operations, the center of resistance. The article, California is becoming to Mr. Trump what Texas, which is as Republican as California's Democrat, was to President Obama. A sea of defiance. Except here's the difference between California and Texas. Texas got a pair. Texas has a pair. Okay, California, it's like you look at the most craziest people, and you look at the most effeminized people. Oh my god, man! I mean, how many people are leaving California per month now, CJ?
Oh my
You know,
gosh. I mean,
I'm
I
gonna ask. I'm gonna find that. Go ahead. No, keep talking,
yeah.
bro.
Well, just the amount of business that has fled, corporate headquarters and things out of California and into Texas and Arizona just due to, lower taxes. And so, when you look at this, it's almost to me that they're going to try to use Trump as a reason to increase taxes on certain things just to meet their budget shortfalls, because we all know that exactly what you said, that California is so dependent upon government handouts. And then when you look at their their legislative battles here. So, they're going on to state, that the budget that was just presented, by the way, happens to have a 1.6 billion shortfall by next summer.
Oh, I just got the figures, bro. Check this out. The
Okay.
exodus of people moving away from California is becoming an avalanche. Over the past 10 years, approximately 5 million people have moved
What?
out of the state of California. As you will see in this article, mass exodus appears to be accelerating. So why is it happening?
Wow. Wow.
Oh my god. Dude, that's like I was talking to my buddy, works in the entertainment industry in Hollywood. And he's like, man, it's like 70% of my income is gone in taxes. Mine as well. I mean, unreal, bro. Unreal. Over
Yeah,
5
that
million
is.
people, and it's accelerating. It's ridiculous, bro. It's the whole entire economics of the entire place. It is suffocating in tax, suffocating in all sorts of ridiculousness. Man, who wants to deal with it?
Right, right. Well, and the last, 24 hours, they're just becoming completely unhinged, right? They know it's inevitable of what's coming. So all the efforts of the CIA and the deep state have failed to stop Trump. So now they're going unhinged. And last night there was a freaking protester that tried to catch himself on fire outside of the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C.
I heard he was trying to light a fire outside, then he accidentally set himself on fire. That was the latest I heard. But either way, it shows you how. See, and these libtards want to go out and get guns, CJ. They can't even light fires. Okay, these are the type, CJ. These are the type of idiots that go out into the woods in Alaska with their little GoPro cameras, and they start documentaries like, "Oh, look at the bear! I'm here with the bear, and that's Bobo, the bear in the background. He comes to the salmon run every so often, and I'm here to protect him. I feel like I'm one with them," and they get eaten by the bear. Okay, these environmental protection wacko libtards who've never been outside, bro. And all of a sudden they have this impetus to go outside and become quote unquote one with nature, and nature winds up eating them. Oh, they became one with nature, all right.
They
The
sure
bear
did.
had a delicious time devouring the dumb human, the dumb libtard with his soft succulent meat. Because most libtards are very very soft, CJ. They don't have hard bodies. They're not used to physical work or labor. Okay, so their meat is quite juicy, probably a lot more fat content. So the bear enjoyed himself eating these libtards. And it's happened more than once. How many times we heard like some libtard going out there, some EPA tree hugging little jerkwad going out there? He wants to go save the squirrel, and the squirrel kills him or something like that. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. But this is what happens. They go out in the woods, they get killed. So now these guys who can't even light fires are setting themselves on fire. And now the libtards who are all of a sudden anti-gun, they're, we're against guns because guns could all of a sudden become, they would come to life and load themselves and randomly start killing people. Now they want to go out and get guns. And I warned you libtards out there, you're going to have probably accidental discharges left and right. You guys can't even shoot straight. You guys have never even handled a weapon. You guys can probably hit a post office box at 10 feet. You wouldn't even probably be able to hit it. God help you all. You know what they should do, CJ? I recommend all the libtards go ahead and buy all the weapons on Inauguration Day. Load the chamber. You make sure you put the clip in. You take the safety off, cock the chamber all the way back, just pull it back, let it slide back, okay? And then what you'd want to do is take it to the temple. Oh, no, don't do the temple. Do the mouth thing, but make sure you get the right angle in, okay? Get that right angle in. You put the gun directly in your mouth. Turn on CNN because you guys love CNN. So turn CNN on. Watch the inauguration of Donald Trump. And then when he says, to execute and defend the Constitution of the United States, so help me God, because that's one of those trigger words you guys have. God, you get triggered. At that point, when you are triggered, make sure you get that angle correctly, because we don't want any accidents. We want this to be clean and efficient. We don't want you to blow a part of your head off and then you live the rest of your life with brain damage. We don't want that. It's just unnecessary pain and suffering for all of us. And you guys are all about reducing your carbon footprint. So this is another advantage. So on Inauguration Day, all you libtards who have weapons, go ahead and make sure you get the angle correctly. And as soon as he says, so help me God, that is the trigger word, go ahead and pull the trigger. Please. That's all I got to say, CJ.
so you'll love it, V. So this gentleman, this guy was from California.
Of course.
Tried to do it. So this comes courtesy. How fitting, right? This comes courtesy of RT. So a California man tried to set himself on fire outside Donald Trump's luxury hotel in Washington D.C. without success. He later told reporters he was protesting Trump being elected president and was taken to the hospital with minor burns.
What a retard. What a retard. What did he say? I think he was saying something about Trump is a dictator, completely incapable of respecting the Constitution. No, Trump is not your crazy, criminal, insane, psychopath wench who got, thrown out of office, who's currently under FBI investigation. She's not the enemy here, but Donald Trump is. Unreal. And what's sad that it's sad that he only had non-life threatening injuries, man. I mean, here's the thing, dude. Soak yourself in gasoline. How hard is it to set yourself on fire? If this guy is true, this is what I'm saying. You California libtards have so much, you guys have a lot of chutzpah. You guys have a lot of gall to spew so many things out of your mouth, but you ain't got the balls to actually do it. You don't have the balls. I mean, how hard is it to set yourself on fire? Okay, libtards, here you go. I'm going to give you guys another lesson. Tomorrow, at approximately 24 hours from now, what you'd want to do is you'd want to go down to your local California gas station with a proper gas canister. If you don't have one, I recommend you using some sort of laundry detergent type canister. Get the 91 octane because it'll burn quite well. I'm sure it's about 10% ethanol, so it'll catch immediately on fire. Get the 91 octane because pay the higher tax, and 91 octane is the only premium grade gasoline you have in California for some strange reason. God, you guys have the worst gas on the planet. Get that. Douse yourself in it. Get yourself a Zippo lighter while you're in the store of the gasoline. And again, the trigger word is so help me God. Click on the Zippo lighter. Actually, don't get the Zippo lighter. That's made in the USA. Find some made in China just to show your hatred of the United States. Get a made in China Bic lighter and then douse it on yourself. I mean, how hard is that? How does this guy even, how did he not die, CJ?
Apparently whenever they saw it, they caught it, fast enough that I guess they started dousing him to get it, to blow it out. But it was just ridiculous because, so imagine this, so you're sitting there in front of a hotel that you have no idea that if Donald Trump's even there, and then you screw it up that you don't even do it the right way. I mean, just idiot, just absolute idiot.
They are absolutely moronic. This guy spent a great deal of money going from California to Washington, D.C. to pull off a stunt like this.
Here's the thing. I don't know why he just didn't, join the rest of the gang when they had a big dance party. This is the way they're protesting, that they're going to have a big dance party outside of Mike Pence's rental there in Chevy Chase. So, why didn't he just go to the dance party with the rest of this other, community that's coming out and already starting the protest? And of course, we're going to see this the next few days, but every little thing that happens regarding any type of protest, anything, the media is just going to hype it up. That they're going to have it everywhere.
Speaking of the media, man, did you hear the idiot at CNN, the head of CNN?
In regards to the network's credibility higher than ever, is that what you're talking about, B? That they're the distinguished media?
Jeff Zucker, yeah. What did Jeff Zucker say, bro?
So, apparently that he went on to say that CNN president says network's credibility is higher than ever. Obviously worried that his network won't get a seat at the big boy table after Jim Acosta's recent on-air spat with President Trump. CNN President Jeff Zucker defended his network's credibility in a recent interview with the New York Magazine. In a blatant attempt to deflect attention away from his network's careless, if not outright malicious, which it was, decision to promote the new infamous 35-page intelligence report, completely fake, that probably came from John McCain.
Right.
He just went on to say that it's just unfortunate that the most powerful person in the world is trying to delegitimize journalism and an organization that plays such a vital role in our democracy.
Listen, you mockingbird media, CNN president Jeff Zucker, remove the Z, put the F in front of that name, and that's exactly who he is. Jeff Zucker, here's the deal, buddy. You are the dinosaur media. Your day's over. It's done. And see, this is the problem, man. I keep warning these guys. I keep giving these guys takeaways. I keep saying to these guys, hey, listen, here's the deal, guys. Do not double down. Learn from this message. If you learn properly, you learn what your enemy is all about. Maybe, perhaps, maybe one day in 25 to 50, maybe 100 years, you guys can come back and, undo, and get yourself back in a position of prominence. But unfortunately for you guys don't learn. You guys still think. I mean, think about it. The most powerful person is trying to delegitimize journalism. No, he's trying to delegitimize the crony journalism that's going on. You know? It
Right.
doesn't. He goes on to say that, he doesn't care what Trump thinks because, our credibility is higher than ever. What credibility among who? Geriatric patients in Florida? Like, who?
Yeah, let's recap this for a moment, okay? Because this is the same news network that colluded, with the Democratic Party to put Hillary up on a pedestal to win the primary. This is the same news network that provided questions to debates ahead of schedule, prior to those to the Clinton camp, okay? This is the same news network that fabricated polls for months on months showing that Donald Trump had no way of winning. But yet, they're going to come out and state now that we're the most credible. Insane.
That just shows. Look, their viewership is at an all-time low. Nobody watches their insane, broadcasts or programs. Nobody watches it. Okay, and here's the deal. They're going out there saying, our credibility is higher than ever. We're so important. I mean, that's like the New York Times saying, we're relevant today, as they're clearing out the top 8 floors of their headquarters so they can create rental space because they're so broke. Oh, yeah, we're so relevant today, as they lost 96% of the ad revenue when they decided to go after Trump. They were fine, CJ. They were fine. Their ad revenue went from 15 million to 400,000. They were fine until they decided to mock America's choice for presidency. Okay? And these people are still saying, we're relevant. No, you're not. It's over. It's absolutely over. These guys are unreal. And it just doesn't stop with them. Look at what blowhard Biden and Samantha Powerless, look what they did, bro.
Yeah, right? I mean, so they just insane. So here we go. Lame duck warmongers, Biden and power spew one last ejaculate towards hate towards Moscow. This comes to us courtesy of the Russian Insider. To quote classic American author Herman Melville's most famous character, "For hate's sake, I spit my last breath at thee." So these two just amazing. So Samantha Powers, obviously who's head of the UN, right?
Yeah.
So recent award-winning Presidential Medal of Freedom, Joe Biden.
What did he do besides grope little girls at photo ops?
Oh, do you ever see the compilation of those clips?
Gross.
Ugh.
What is this old skeezer perv? Okay, this guy's probably a pizza cooker himself. What did this guy do besides doing photo ops and groping little girls, man?
So he managed to sneak off one final foreign trip, jetting off to Davos. Okay, so
yeah, very, very important trip there. Uh-huh.
And we all know what's going on there. But Mr. Joe urged the participant not to forget, since it is vital to the world's economy, that Russia is really, really bad.
Oh my God! Listen what this a-hole says. Russia's undermining the liberal world order in its quest for influence. Vice President said on Wednesday, "The greatest threats to democracies built in Europe and the United States. I will not mince words. This movement is principally led by Russia." This guy is such a friggin' moron. He's going out there saying that under Vladimir Putin, Russia's working with every tool available to them to whittle away at the edges of the European project. No, you morons, you guys are destroying the European project. You guys are destroying the euro currency. You guys are the reason that the European economy is screwed up. It's your policies. Okay, it's not even home here in the United States. The reason why people are dumping the dollar is not because China's declared economic war on you, because you treat your dollar so cheaply. You create economic policies, you sycophant little turds who are looking to enrich themselves. That's the whole point here, CJ. They just don't get it. I mean, look what they're saying.
Yeah, just just insane. And then you get Samantha Powers, who
Oh,
has
another
she's
bright tool in the shed.
oh my God, this she just gets up there. She has no brain at all in any regard. So she gets up there. So obviously she's the outgoing UN ambassador. So she gets up there and slams President-elect Donald Trump and Russia, that they're the threat of authoritarianism, and in an unusual 11th hour speech just gave days before Trump takes office. So what kind of U.S. ambassador does this, that goes out and just completely undermines the next president of the United States? And you know who
I know.
sent them there? This is Obama's actions. He sent them there. You got to know that.
Of course, this is the style of Barry Skidmark. Barry Skidmark is his unique style of rule calls for name calling and belittling and sabotage. And Samantha Powers, who is inherently a asshole, um, she can't help herself. She is the wife of Cass Sunstein, who is another chief asshole. And this is what happens. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that happens. If anybody would say, "Oh, what would happen if women run the world? There'd be peace and security." And say, no, under the Obama administration, you had the four harpies of destruction: Samantha Powers, Hillary Clinton, Suzanne Rice, and Valerie Jarrett. These four harpies of destruction, the four harpies of apocalypse, they have absolutely decimated Ukraine. They have ripped the Middle East in pieces. They have set ablaze North Africa. They have created destabilization in Eastern Europe. This is what they've done. This is what they've done, CJ. The four harpies of destruction.
So get this, B. Get this. You're going to love this. So she went on to state, okay, Russia took one aggressive and destabilized action after another in recent years. She's recounting the illegal annexation of Crimea, war in Ukraine, and the atrocities in the civilian civil war in Syria.
Because Samantha Powers cares about civilians. This childless woman, this barren bedwench of the New World Order. I don't even know if she has kids. Most of these idiots don't. I don't care if she does anyway. But the point is, this woman is a nut job. Okay, she's married to Cass Sunstein. Anybody who's married to Cass Sunstein will tell you. The funny thing is, she's married to Cass Sunstein, but she wears the pants in the family, bro. This kind of tells
yeah,
you.
you got to know that.
Oh my God! I mean, who wants to deal with it? An out of touch, like she cares about human suffering. Give me a break. Give me a break. Unreal, bro.
Nice parting shots. So much for a smooth transition of powers.
Mm-hmm. And here's another one for a parting shot. What does Obama do? He's like freeing terrorists left and right, and the libtards are like crying about it. Like the idiot who made the Hamilton play was like crying about this fact, bro. What's going on with Odumbo and this whole situation here?
Well, he responded to terror. So Obama frees unprecedented domestic terrorists, which he's done that. Think of the prisoner exchange that we did for, what was the guy's name that was captured? Not captured. He walked off of
Birdall.
Joe Berdahl. So remember
whatever.
when that whole thing went down, right?
Yeah.
So there's so much outrage over President Obama commutation of 35-year espionage sentence imposed on treasonous American soldiers Bradley Manning, aka Chelsea, last night at the unprecedented terrorist Oscar Lopez Rivera is just beginning to attract attention. Mm-hmm. Rivera is a FALN leader who was serving a combined 70 years in prison sentence in the Puerto Rican Communist Organization's terrorist war against the United States in his multiple attempts to escape from custody.
Yep, so the FALN. Why? This is what I'm saying, man. How you going to be a Puerto Rican communist terrorist organization and you call yourself the FALN? That at any moment, anybody with dyslexia could spell you FLAN, flan, and confuse you with a delicious dessert. So he's the leader of flan.
Flan. The leader
God.
of Flan carried out 130 attacks in the United States.
Good God. Resulted in how many people died with these attacks, bro?
Resulted in 6 murders, including a lunch hour bombing in a tavern in Lower Manhattan in January of 1975, and recounted by Joe Connor, whose father was one of the 4 men killed in the attack.
Good grief, man. Good grief.
Yeah, I think these things are done on purpose, just to let's let as many people out of prison you can. Now, granted, some of them were just real minor convictions, but let's just let them all out, and let's see how much trouble that we can start up in the U.S. Right?
Yeah. So this retard who names his criminal organization after a dessert. Okay. Oh my God. Unreal. This guy goes out, creates all sorts of destruction and mayhem, is a terrorist. But this is the type of radicals that Obama loves, bro. So he'll commute.
Absolutely.
He'll commute Bradley Chelsea Manning's prison sentence. But a guy like who's a communist radical, who's like a communist radical who names his communist organization after a dessert called the Flan organization. He frees them. He loves them. And then on top of that, you have the libtards that are crying about it. Guys like Michael Moore, the idiot communist leftist who created that stupid play called Hamilton on Broadway. He's crying. They're all moved to tears, and they think, oh, the courage that he had. Unreal, bro. Unreal.
Yeah, and then they get the Clinton friends that come out that, threatening to kill Donald Trump on Twitter. What a smart thing to do.
I heard about that, man. Didn't he challenge the Secret Service, this idiot?
So 51-year-old Florida resident Dominic Puapolo, who was arrested by
Let's call him Poopy.
Who was arrested by Miami Beach police. Dominic Poopy, police Tuesday for allegedly threatening President-elect Donald Trump online. According to the Daily Mail, he's a member of a prominent Northeast family close to Bill and Hillary Clinton. So Pupo reportedly admitted to posting a video to Twitter under the handle @JesusChrist1701 saying, yes, I will be at the review stand in the inauguration and I am going to kill President-elect Trump. What are you going to do about that, Secret Service?
And the Secret Service says, okay, you deranged moron libtard. How about we just arrest you? And he was arrested and charged after leaving a Washington Avenue Subway sandwich shop on Tuesday. Look, man, if you're talking about killing and threatening Donald Trump, and you look like a fat little turd that was squeezed out of a monkey's ass, okay? And you're coming out of a Subway sandwich shop, I'm not going to take you seriously, man. If you're going to be a hitman, why would you eat at Subway sandwich shops, bro? If you're going to be assassins, don't eat at Subway, CJ.
They don't?
No, absolutely not. Oh, here's an early picture they have here of Poopy. Who is literally sitting right next to Hillary Clinton.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
It was just too much to bear,
It's too much. These libtards who've never fired a weapon were anti-gun. Now they're talking about killing. They're talking about setting things on fire. Unreal, man. Unreal. So basically, see, the protests have begun, basically, right?
They have, yeah. There was a huge party. They partied outside of Mike Pence's house last night, his rental, and the guy sets himself on fire. They got the whole over 1.5 million Women's March for Rights, which they should be doing on the consulate of Saudi Arabia, and not on the White House lawn or anywhere. But yeah, so these protests are starting, and the media is just going to be just crazy, just hyping these up. V. So, and again, you know what's going to happen next is that again, as the protesters arrive, who's coming in right behind them? The whole the wall of meat coming in of these motorcycle. How many did they estimate are going to be there?
Yeah, 200,000.
That's
200,000 testosterone-laden men who are going to form a wall of protection. And look, someone's got to be the dad in these idiots' lives. And obviously these libtards either didn't have a dad, or their dad was an absolute weak figure, or they just didn't have proper home training. One way or the other, these entitled brats of the far left are going to smack dab into a wall of hardened men with some serious testicular fortitude. And that's when the libtards realize that it's become absolutely frighteningly real and that they should just go home. They should just go home. And what is Obama telling the snowflakes of this whole thing? He's not telling them don't protest. He's not telling them, listen, guys, calm down, knock this off. This is democracy at work. This is the process happening. What is he telling them, bro?
So here we go. So Obama gives his final message,
Oh,
in
good
front of
God.
the elite press corps that are.
Oh, the press corps.
So he gets behind the White House podium for one last time Wednesday, fielding questions from the crush of journalists that are there, right? Because they all are like infatuated with him. But more of his message was more, guided at Donald than anything. So, he talked about, Trump maybe eliminating the sanctions on Russia, regarding Ukraine, the exchange of the nuclear stockpile, and just as with Trump coming into the embassy and journalists. So everything that he's accomplished that he's kind of afraid is going to be taken apart, which is right. He was basically telling the press that you will be okay because of this, even if it does happen. Just complete, instead of getting up, being optimistic, delivering the message that a leader should be delivering at this time. He wants to get up there and talk about himself like he does all the time.
Oh, God. You got to be kidding. This guy's such a moron. And he stands up there, okay? And the thing is, he stands up there. He's the first president, CJ, ever, not even to ever even reach 3% GDP growth. He couldn't do anything.
First time in history, right? That's
First time
that's
in history.
yeah.
I mean, he'll be lucky to average 1.5. And if you really correct the numbers, it was literally under 8 years of Odumbo, we were losing on average. We were contracting anywhere between 3 to 4% on average, man. Horrible. I mean, the couldn't even reach it. And this guy's out there talking about his, like, what legacy do you have? Like, the goal of this guy, only like an uneducated fool, somebody who doesn't understand, what's going on and what's happening, will think that this guy has some sort of legacy to stand on, bro.
Yeah, and that's what he's strictly focused on right now. And there's no legs to it, at all.
Unreal. Which brings us to the most important piece of the day. What's going on with Ben Swan, bro? What's he discovered something?
Well, the Pizzagate thing there for a while,
Pizzagate is still around?
It's still around. And, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago regarding, Ben Swan, and, he puts out a lot of great stuff out there, talking about, what we in the truth media usually post months in advance.
Sure.
So Ben Swan went on to basically, he spent, I think he listed in this expose, he said like 2 months researching, okay, kind of like what all of us in the truth media have been doing. And it's very good because he points out some very specific, he links things together nicely between the emails, the symbols, the restaurants, the players behind it, and who they're affiliated with. And he posed a very good question to all this, is that he did reach out to the FBI, to the NYPD, Washington, and asked a simple question saying, if you have this much evidence pointing you to in a direction that you think that something's been going, why hasn't any of this been investigated? And to this day, nothing has. Nothing's been investigated. So if this is out there and you can prove, you can see the evidence that's kind of linking everything together, not saying that anyone's guilty at this point, but why wouldn't there be an investigation? Why wouldn't there be something done about this?
It's look, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's clearly a lot of resistance here. There's clearly a lot of pushback. There is something clearly under the surface when it comes to Pizzagate. Nobody's talking about it. Again, I'm no expert in this kind of, there are guys like, guys like Sean from SGT Report who've done amazing exposés on Pizzagate. I am by no means an expert. I mean, I'll leave it to those guys, but I definitely know that, this is the kind of stuff that people are into, man. They're into this kind of crap, man. They're really into this type of stuff. And I hope, okay, I hope that all of this will come out this year, and this type of stuff, this type of shenanigans stops, and it needs to stop. I mean, it's disgusting, bro.
Yeah, it is, and it just really, again, you think of the artwork that's there, you think of the code words in the emails, you think of the pictures. I mean, it makes no sense why there wouldn't be some type of an investigation. I'm glad you said that. I'm optimistic as well that this can't go on forever, and the incoming administration, if not through the FBI, the NYPD, that they'll research this and hopefully bring some charges forth.
Yeah, I mean the whole, the Madeline McCain thing where that little girl disappeared in Portugal. I mean, the suspects. I mean, it's clearly Tony and Joe Podesta. The third guy involved looks almost like Anthony Weiner. It's disturbing. And then they got Weiner's laptop with Uma Abedin. Something's brewing under the surface, man. I have a sense. Like, I don't know what's going on, and I haven't covered it, but I just have a sense that something is under the surface, and I think in the next couple of weeks it's gonna be revealed. I think a lot of things, guys, next couple of months, next couple of weeks are gonna be coming to light, and the world is gonna be shocked. And these libtards who've supported these people, they're gonna be disgusted with them. They're gonna be disgusted with themselves. Hopefully we'll have a mass extinction of more libtards, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. But anyway, crazy. On to the wacky member of the BRICS, the lunatic, the demagogue, the Maoist, who's disguised as a nationalist, who's disguised as a capitalist, the transformer known as Prime Minister Modi of India. What the hell? What type of genocide has this guy planned, bro?
In terms of the what this man has done to their economy, the trade, they're at the point now where their economy. There was a report that with the currency, with him, bringing some of the notes back, how much the economy came down and trade, and so they're estimating here, V, that how many people are going to die from starvation, from malnutrition and disease as a result of Modi's demonetization that he's doing. And as we covered last week, it's at the basis of the U.S. direction. It's almost like it's this. So this guy is just unhinged that he would stay aligned and follow this pattern. V, I don't understand it.
He is my nomination for the demagogue of 2017. This guy who slipped in like a snake, clearly a U.S. agent in disguise who played the Russians and the Chinese like a fiddle, pretending to be a member of the BRICS, but he himself is an agent of chaos. We should have known better, as this guy was a governor of a state where when there was a lot of infighting and violence among the population, he looked the other way. So Modi, in another sense, was in his early demagoguery training, when they had the riots between the Hindus and the Muslims in the state of Gujarat, and Modi was accused of atrocities. While he basically looked the other way while atrocities were committed. This guy knows the Hegelian dialectic quite well. We should have figured that out instead of thinking, "Hey, this guy's just a nationalist." No, this guy's an asshole. He is a serious problem. Reports from rural India and semi-rural India areas of towns and villages already indicate that hunger is widespread because of the non-existence of cash. This artificial crisis was created on November 8th, 2016, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi arbitrarily declared 86% of the nation's currency worthless as legal tender, a draconian dictate taken without any prior discussion with his cabinet, parliament, or the people. That's his dictator move. How are they even able to have any sort of checks and balances to have a prime minister have this much power is beyond me. Like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? How are they not recalling this guy? I mean, come on, you guys are supposed to be a democracy, you morons. The so-called demonetization policy has had devastating effects on all sectors of Indian society, crippling businesses and farmers, causing retail stores and vendors to shut down, increasing unemployment, forcing ordinary people to lose billions of man hours and woman hours waiting in endless queues at banks to exchange usable currency notes or to window the meager cash allowed. But the worst hit are the poor, as always, the day laborers, always the case, and the rural and semi-rural working class, who make up around 2/3 of India's population, over 600. Dude, I think he's trying to just call the population, bro.
Yeah, that's very valid point.
I think he wants 650 million people to drop dead. Right? I think he wants. I think this guy's got some crazy UN Agenda 21 deals cut. And this is why you never allow government. You never worship government. You never look at government as a solution. You never give power to the government. You never allow them to grow beyond their britches. You never allow them to have one office that has all the decision-making capabilities without any sort of checks and balances. Okay? This is a disaster. Like, where is the other politicians?
Right.
Unreal. This guy it created an absolute man-made disaster. I'm incredulous. I mean, this is a country that you have so many engineers and doctors coming out of at an alarming rate. This is a country that there's so many smart people there, but they're so stupid and nutless and spineless when it comes to standing up to tyranny. Like, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
Oh, they're compliant. They're a compliant society.
They really are a compliant. They're like they're like the Germans of Southeast Asia, my friend. I mean, except at least now the Germans are starting to protest back. They found their balls somewhere. Jeez, man. I mean, they're just going along with it. They're cool with, instead of rioting in front of this a-hole's parliament building, demanding this a-hole be lynched in public and or jailed and or recalled or impeached, they would rather waste their precious energy like compliant little slaves and stand in front of an ATM line. See, this is what my point. This is what makes America different. We have a concept of freedom. We have a concept of individuality. Countries like India, they have no freaking concept of that.
They will no. No, and if the MSM and our political leaders would have their way, they would have us like the people of India, right?
1,000%.
They would. That's why they're so upset, because they thought their last several years of daily program was going to force us into a society of being compliant. But heck no. You know, there's got to be a point where government gets so large, and looking at it now that, you know, think of the IRS and all these agencies. It's just the government's out of control, and this year was a reflection of the American people saying enough is enough.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. You know, there's no way in hell, man, we're going to be going around like a bunch of compliant little slaves. This is absolutely ridiculous, bro. There's no way in hell. Anyway, CJ, we've come down to the last sections of our program for the day. We covered a lot of ground. Not a lot going on in the markets, man. I think everybody in the markets right now, we're just all holding our breaths. I'm telling you, CJ, it's going to be a sell-off on Friday at some point, and there's going to be a rally either late towards the end on Friday, or definitely Monday is going to be a rally. So get ready for that. That's what I expect. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But, you know, that's just what I expect. So let's see what happens, man. CJ,
absolutely.
Anything else on your radar, bro, that we missed?
No, hey, check it out. Yeah, you know, yesterday we had a hump day with Bix. Check it out if you haven't done so already. It was an awesome show. I thought you guys did a fabulous job. So check it out. Programming notes. We are looking towards Friday of having a special live edition of Rogue Money Radio and doing something really special. So I don't want to give it away, V, but we're trying to work through that. So got a great interview lined up for Friday. A Fed insider from Dallas, new book coming out called Fed Up. We're going to be recording that Friday and then releasing on Saturday. So we got some really awesome stuff coming up this week. So stay tuned.
Yep, awesome stuff, man. Great deal, great deal. So I think that's it for the day, my man. We'll give out your shout outs and we'll wrap this baby up.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate the support. Leave the comments. More importantly, share it. Share it with family, friends, neighbors. Get them to Rogue Money Media.
Absolutely. Rogue Media, the future of broadcasting. We are coming in fast and furious. With that being said, guys, I am the Illustrious Ape. We are. That's it. We're the Illustrious Ape. Check us out, RogueMoney.net, at the Rogue Money on Twitter, Rogue Money Facebook. And that's about it. And again, support us by checking out our sponsors like MyFreedomNow.us, MyFreedomNow.us. If you got debt problems, collections problems, credit problems, all sorts of problems, they're writing you love letters. They're threatening to kidnap your children unless you pay them. They're threatening to kick your dog. Call them. Call them, MyFreedomNow.us. And let these guys who are the credit experts get you the credit score you deserve. And even if your credit score is not in the toilet, and you just need an improvement because you need to refinance your home, you need to buy a house, whatever the heck it is that you want to do, check out MyFreedomNow.us. And you can actually book a call with yours truly. With that being said, we are over and we are out. Take it away, CJ.